you may be like a little nervous at first, but once you do get in here, it's fine. Don't really overthink it too much because you'll be standing here doing your presentation saying the whole time. You'll get nervous. And one thing I do recommend is not to memorize your speech, because as you're up here presenting, you'll tend to forget what your brain is thinking to say. So you're like, because you can't remember what you're trying to say. Basically, you want to start off with your introduction. You say, hi, my name is so-and-so. I do want to pursue this career for the rest of my life. You know, you let them know what you're going to be talking about in your presentation. You want to have eye contact, that's very important.
Ooh,
and
you shake your hand?
Oh yeah, shake their hand when they do walk in.
Cool, let's do a quick one.
Okay, yeah, so you just walk in.
Hello.
Hi, my name is Jordan.
Nice.
Thank you for coming to my presentation.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, so you want to do that. So yeah, introduction is basically self-explanatory. Let them know what you're going to be talking about, what you want to do, what you want to major in, and what's going to be going on in your presentation. And how do I explain this? This is what I chose to talk about in my presentation, which was my survey results, do what you are.
From off the Naviance.
Yeah, from Naviance. And basically I just said how they did help me out as a person and things like that, because if you did do the survey at the end of it, it lets you know what your personality type is, which type of job that you should go towards, and other things like that. So that is why I put my survey results in this slide. Now, career research. Basically, this is me trying to explain how I was deciding between two different careers. And this career research did help me out a lot, because again, I was researching two different careers and it was hard to choose between the two. And basically I explained how career research helped me out, how I learned information about two different careers, and how I came down to one that I did want to pursue for the rest of my life. So career research really did help, and it did help me choose graphic design. And from there, I went to college. Now I'm going to be going to Victor Valley College and transferring to a four-year university to get my bachelor's degree. And in this slide, I basically said how would going to this college benefit me, how would it help me in the end. And I said things like it was close to my house, I do have a couple friends that go there, and things like that. So you just, I don't really know how to.
It was almost like you told a story about how you planned.
You're just expressing yourself. Don't be like, it's not it's not scary at all.
Yeah, it's not robotic, blah, 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 blah.
And here, I just explained my overall experience, how I felt about the information that I learned. We talked about, we created a resume. I learned about financial aid, what was the student loans, grants. So I basically just went over everything that I did go through over this presentation. And with my next slide, I did thank Mirus, for having a great environment, keeping me on task, for giving me this information that I do have, and the information that I did use to create this presentation. And yeah.
Cool.
And that was the end of it.
All right, cool. So what did you guys notice about each slide? Can you click on the second one? What did we notice?
They're all bullets.
Bullet points, not full sentences. What else?
Not full sentences. You want to just put something on your presentation so that if you're stuck, you can look at it and you'll remember what you were talking about. You don't want to have long sentences, because you'll just stand there and read what's on the presentation.
And then that's epic fail.
So you make it like short and sweet and to the point.
Yeah.
And what did we notice about the pictures?
They all relate to
They actually relate
every
to
slide.
what's on the slide, and there's a picture on each one. If you had to do it over though, Jordan, what would you recommend doing different?
I would recommend not trying to memorize your speech, because before I I kept trying to memorize it, and I would think that I had it down, but I came here, I stood in front, of the people, and I messed up. I was like, but, another advice is, if you are presenting and you do, get stuck, what you wanna do is start from the beginning again. You don't wanna pick yourself back up. Like, if you're in the middle of a sentence, you're like, so yeah, basically I wanted to, and then you keep on going, you just wanna start over,
So try not to say the try to just stand still
Yeah.
and pause for a minute and then start again.
And don't go too fast, just go slow, because if you're going fast, you'll forget. And what else?
Ooh, tell us a good story about your dad.
My dad. My dad did come in here for my presentation. I guess that did help me a little bit. So, what do you want me to just tell him?
But he was on American Idol too, and he kind of went with some of the themes that he had on his slide.
So that is why he did come, because he was,
interested in that.
Yeah, he was interested in it. Music production wise, he was on American Idol. He's done a lot of things musically.
So when we say community member, that's what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Somebody that hopefully or maybe a friend of yours, or someone who's in college in that major already. It's best to try and get someone that to come in as a community member. If you get stuck, that's when you come to your teacher and see if we can't branch out and find more. But it's much more personal when it's someone that and they're able to see how far you've come as a person, because then you never know. That's networking. They may even set you up with a job at some point. Okay, the next thing I want you guys to look at is that he did have to have an interview. You take one and pass it down. And they asked him a couple questions at the end of it. And you can tell by your score sheet that the interview section is indeed its own little section at the bottom worth 16 points. Preparation, voice clarity, posture, and eye contact when answering questions. So for example, they can ask you things like, as you think about your high school years, what do you wish you had done differently? They may ask you, how have you improved academically as a student? Or where do you see yourself in 5 years? So Jordan, we're wondering, what sorts of questions did they ask you?
They asked me, what would I change about Mirus? Where do I see myself in 5 years? Trying to remember. I don't really remember.
But your best advice was just to be chit-chatty, right?
Yeah.
To just tell stories and be chit-chatty. Okay, and then it also says a few more on here, so feel free to go ahead and read over it, because any of these questions, this is literally what the judges are given, and they may choose any of these questions to ask. So it's always good to have that in the back of your mind, that that's going to be part of your interview questions about your volume and clarity, and again, try not to say ums. And if you're not sure of something, just say, I'm not really sure which direction, but I know I'm gonna live at home and I'm gonna go to VBC, and from there we'll decide blah, 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 blah. So it's okay if you don't have a direct answer to every single question they ask you. It's the fact that you're thinking about it and that you're able to kind of project into the future and have some goals in mind.
Be positive.
And yes, and always be positive. And be positive about yourself too. I've had students stand up and say, well, I wasn't really good. Don't say that. You are good. Look at that. That's wonderful. Whatever you have done, you've done it yourself, and you should take pride in it. So be real positive about yourself as well. And that's one of the point of having this whole assignment, is to see that you are capable and that you can reach whatever goal you choose to. Do we have any other questions for Jordan? Other than, was it scary? Just scary in the beginning, right?
The rehearsal makes you not really scared. I mean, you're gonna be nervous, but just be yourself. You're letting people know what you want to do for the rest of your life. Just be yourself. Go slow. Don't be too fast, because you'll forget what you're trying to say. Other than that, it's fine. Once it's over, you feel relieved.
And then you feel like you have a direction.
Basically, yeah.
Thank you, Jordan.